Hello everybody from New York City, I am Josh Skinner and welcome to WithJosh.com. And next to me is the beautiful, wearing flannel, Diana DeGarmo. You look very cozy.
Oh, it's Sunday. I have to be. I just gotta be warm and fuzzy.
We're actually in the theater where she's currently performing. She's performing The Toxic Avenger. How's the show going?
It's great. It's a lot of fun, and we're sad to say that we're closing January 3rd, so there's only a few more weeks left, but we're enjoying it. The audiences are awesome, and the cast is brilliant. The crew's great, so it's gonna be sad to go.
How did you get involved with The Toxic Avenger?
Got an email.
Okay, well, that's how it always starts.
Yeah, it was really the request came across my computer, and I was like, The Toxic Avenger. And then a movie, and I asked a friend of mine, and I was like, have you ever heard of The Toxic Avenger? And he was like, oh, yes! Oh my gosh, it's a musical? So I researched it and heard the music, and David Bryan from Bon Jovi did all the music, and it sounded like a great opportunity, and not only was it going to be looked like a fun show and a fun job to do, but it also was a great career move because it slowly is moving people's thoughts and perceptions of who I am as an actor and as a performer from American Idol and Penny Pingleton and this sweet. So I still get to be sweet and quirky, but I get to be a little more on the edge, a little pushing the envelope a little more on this role.
Well, let's go back really briefly and talk about Idol. I know you have millions of questions, but 2004, you're working on your first pop album. Is this where you thought you'd end up? Like, take me into that studio. What was your mindset? You're like 16, 17. You're working on your first RCA album. Where did you think you were going to be in 5 years?
I had no idea.
No expectations?
No expectations at all. I was literally, it all just happened so fast. You weren't really able to grasp what was going on. I mean, it was also exciting, and there was so much happening, and I look back now and I'm like, wow, I had no idea what I was doing, but I had no expectations. I just was kind of living each day for what it was, and because in this industry, none of us really know how long anything's going to happen. I mean, in life, period, nothing's ever really guaranteed or promised past, right here, right now. So I was just taking it for that moment. And
did you want to write on that album?
I did. I had offered, because a lot of people didn't understand that Idol was not the first time I'd ever sung. It wasn't the first time I'd ever tried working on music. It's something I've been doing my entire life. And I, prior to doing Idol, I'd recorded in Sweden. I had written with all sorts of different writers in Atlanta and around the country and stuff like that. And when I offered that to RCA, they looked at me like I had a third eye. I was like, I think a country pop album would be best because I grew up singing country music when I first really started because that was kind of the only really clean music for someone my age to sing.
Right.
And
you grew up religious, right?
Fairly relious, yeah. And,
me too, my dad's minister, so I totally get it.
Yeah, I grew up in Georgia, which is just, it's kind of it's everybody sort of is. So,
you're born Christian.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And, I sang in church and all that kind of stuff, but I just thought, I really believe that a country pop album would be great. It'll be, and we had this whole sit down, and they thought I was completely nuts. They were like, no, our market research says that you need to do pop rock. And I was like, I've never even sung rock music before. I don't even know what it's about. I didn't know. They're like, well, we think of you more as an Avril Lavigne. And I was like, okay,
whoa, no, not at all.
She's cool and all, but what? I mean, and Hillary Duff was really big at that time, and with her kind of pop rock stuff, and I just kind of did what I was told because that's the best you could do, and you just kind of ride the situation because you believe in these people and you want to say, okay, that they know what they're talking about, so you follow them and you trust them. And I really had no say. I was handed a CD and told, learn this music. And
do you still sing any of those songs when you're on tour or when you're doing a concert?
Sometimes, if people have requested them specifically, I have, but not really. I mean, I enjoyed, the great thing was that I worked with people I already knew.
Right.
I already knew Desmond Child. I already knew Andreas Carlson. Since I was 13, I knew them. So it was just kind of ironic how, I got to work with them again. Dean Pitchford, who I worked with on a Disney song, I just did a reading with for Carrie. So it's kind of funny how, it's I knew all these people prior, but I'm working with them on an album. And David Foster was amazing to work with. I mean, just ridiculous.
Genius.
He's so great.
Yeah.
So amazing and just a great person. And I remember him taking my laptop and when I was playing, he was like, "What else are you recording?" And because "Go On and Cry" was the closest thing to anything I wanted to actually. That was the only song I actually picked.
Wow.
And he was like, "Let me listen." So he put the laptop up to his head, and he had it like bent over his head like this, and he was listening, and he puts the laptop down, and he goes, "None of these songs sound like you." And I go, "Thank you." But
do you have a favorite song on the album?
"Go On and Cry" for sure is hands down my favorite. But
Do you have a song that you would never want to sing again?
There's a few.
Okay. We won't go there.
There's a few.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's talk about your Broadway experience. I mean, you are, from Georgia, and then you're on American Idol, then you're doing like this whole pop thing, and then you went kind of country and Hairspray, and how does that all fit into your career?
Well, it's really funny because, first off, I'm a Gemini, so I've got tons of personalities in me anyway.
Right.
So let's just put that out there, people. I'm a Gemini, so just get used to it.
They're trouble, those Geminis.
We are. I mean, that's the thing. I always want to be doing something different and something kind of crazy from the next thing. But what I've found over the past few years, first off, so many people go through so much between 16 to 21, 22. Anyway, mine just happens to be on a little bit more of a blown up scale. So
it's like your second and third puberty.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's taken a few years for me to just kind of realize, where do I want to go, who do I want to be, because once you do idol, you get kind of told what you're supposed to do, and then once you lose that, you're like in this limbo of, well, where am I going, what's going on, and I found that I really love doing theater, and it's been great for me to help pay my bills. It's the closest thing for a 9-to-5 job for a performer, and the community is fabulous. The performers are real, the people are just amazing, and I love doing it. But part of me, the other half of me, is still back home, down south, and which is home is now Nashville, and I love it because I can go back there and I can wipe off whatever character I was playing. I can, take away Penny. I could take away Sarah. I can take away whoever I was for those few months playing that character, and I can just be me, which is nice. And it's nice to be able to have that balance, because this industry can get a little crazy.
Is that why you wrote a song called "Find Me" on your new album?
Yeah, it really was.
Will you tell us about that a little bit?
"Find Me" was written by myself, along with two great friends, Jason Slim. We call him Slim Gamble, and Rachel Thibodeau, both great writers. And we had first written a song together called "Like I'm Not Even Here," which was a song that we kind of just stumbled into, and ended up being like this amazing kind of heartbreak bar song about a singer, seeing her just recently broken up with boyfriend walk into her bar with his new girl, and her expressing her feeling towards that. And so when we went to write again, I was like, okay, we can't write about some mushy love song again. We need to write something bigger. And because I was going through so much in my life, trying to find out who I was and where I fit in and where I needed to go as a person, let alone an artist, Rachel was like, well, let's write something that, talks about where you are in your life. And the more we dove into it, I said, let's make this a little bit broader, not just about somebody who's going through a life change, but going through an addiction of some sort. Maybe that's somebody that's going through a breakup of some sort. There's so many things that you can kind of fill in the blanks to whoever it is with that song, and it ended up just being really
it's amazing.
great.
I think everyone should download your album. I downloaded
you.
her album for the interview. It's called Unplugged in Nashville, and it's available on iTunes, and you got to check it out. It's amazing.